Brought to you by DK Audio.
DK Audio presents The History of Information by Chris Haughton, read by Siobhán McAuley. First we shape the tools, then the tools shape us. Marshall McLuhan. What happened to humans? Until only a few thousand years ago, humans lived in tiny groups and had a difficult, fragile existence. We made only simple stone tools, and in many ways were not very different from any other animal species on Earth. However, today our species dominates the globe, and our technologies have transformed the world. How did this happen? How did such an extraordinary change come about? That is the subject of this audiobook. We like to tell ourselves the reason we are different from other animals is because we are more intelligent. Maybe there is some truth in this, but most of humanity's most dramatic innovations happened in the last few hundred years, or even the last few decades. We couldn't say that as a species we have become more intelligent in such a short space of time. So what could be causing such a dramatic acceleration in progress? In this audiobook, we will make the case for a different explanation for our achievements: information. The sharing of information is nothing new in the natural world. Almost every living species communicates in some way. Plants and bacteria communicate with chemical signals, and animals use combinations of calls, gestures, and scents. Some species need years to teach their young the skills they need to survive. But humans took this and did something more. We found a means of sharing and storing information so that more of it can be passed to the next generation than is lost. In this way, it could accumulate. This was our species' great breakthrough. Once this process of information accumulation began, it continued like a snowball rolling downhill. Technology built on technology, and each one increased the pace. There have been periods in our early history where little changed, and there may even have been resets. But eventually, our collective gathering and sharing of knowledge led to better and better problem solving, and progress gained an unstoppable hold, allowing us to create the remarkable complex human world in which we find ourselves today. How did it all begin? It began with a code with an almost magical quality. A code that allows one's brain's thoughts to be sent to another brain so accurately that the other has the very same thought. Language. Language is mankind's greatest invention, except, of course, that it was never invented. Guy Docher. 50,000 BCE. Estimated world population 2 million. Small groups of hunter-gatherers. No humans yet in the Americas. No large settlements. No villages. Language and the brain. How does the brain process language? How does it take these magical strings of sounds and convert them into thoughts? The process can be broken into two stages. First, the brain needs to recognize distinctive sounds and convert them into words. Then these words are joined together into sequences. Through these sequences of words, our brains create meaning. Sounds become words. From birth, we listen intently for different sounds made by the shape of the mouth. And by 18 months, we are familiar with all the sounds of our language. From this, we learn that these sounds are pieced together to form words, the simplest units of meaning. Memory. Humans have a mind-boggling capacity for words. The average adult knows the meaning of an estimated 40,000 words. This means that every child must learn a...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?